Welcome to our podcast, The Living Room Chat with Ryan and Matt.
So I'm Ryan, he's Matt. We're two self-employed estate agents working out of the Reading area in Berkshire.
This podcast is lifting the lid on the trials and tribulations of being an estate agent.
So have a listen, follow along, fire us over your questions, but for now, let's dive into the episode. Hello all and welcome back to episode 19 of the Living Room Chat podcast with Ryan Bloomfield and Matt Barrell.
Last one of the teens.
It is the last one of the teens. It should have been last week, but you cancelled last minute.
I do feel bad about that.
That's fine, mate.
Because you said it would happen. You said
we
we were going
literally
to
spoke
be
about it the
busy.
week before, didn't we?
And then you were like, oh, you're up for the pod. I was like, no. And I did feel bad, but we're here.
Don't feel bad. Like the pod is our free therapy. There we go. Got it in the first 30 seconds. Free therapy for us to chat about our lives, chat about stuff. But if we're busy, that's a good thing. We don't necessarily. It's not like it's a business generating money. We don't have to do it. We do it because we enjoy doing it. So don't feel bad.
Okay, mate.
Just don't let it happen again.
Yeah. All right. Well,
cool.
Yeah, we got targets to hit. So we're here getting
for the video watchers on YouTube. Thank you. But you can see obviously Matt and I went for a completely different outfit today. We went for the white hoodies, black jeans, but then we mixed it up massively. You got white trainers on. I got my Vans on. You can tell the difference now, can't you?
You've actually got a pair of these exact
I've got
trainers
the exact
as well,
trainers. They are, but they are. I was going to swear then. That was really good for me. I didn't. They are ruined at the moment. They're now my your shoes you just wear like if you're going out for a walk or gardening or whatever.
Yeah.
Not that you garden much, obviously in your town, in your flat, but when you do stuff out in the balcony. But yeah, they're annihilated. But I do love them. They're really good trainers, to be fair.
Get lots of compliments about the white hoodie.
The white hoodies, I'm going to get another one. We just talked about mine's a bit more worn than yours, and it's been through the wash a few times. So I'm going to get a new one because it's just a bit bobbly. But I do love it as well. It's a nice fight. It's a perfect summer hoodie.
Do you know what though, mate? I've got an apology to make to you. Well, we're on the subject of clothing because you obviously referred me to your company who printed these.
Yeah.
You told me about sizing. Obviously, I think we're similar sizes.
Yeah.
And I ignored you.
I know.
And I was like, no, Ryan, I know what size I am.
Yeah.
You were right.
T-shirts too small, aren't they?
T-shirts too small.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, I told you. But
it's too late now.
Hook up with Smart Impressions, £99 workwear bundle, absolute bargain. I did say to Lisa, I think she needs to charge more.
Well, it's a bargain if you get the right size. It's not
well, that's fine. But this is the point. You can just get another one, and now we're rolling in it. Not yet, nearly. We can get bigger sizes because they are. I wear them down the gym. Even then, I feel a bit. They're too tight.
You've got a size up in the t-shirt, size down in the polo.
Yeah, it's medium polos, large tees.
Yeah. Anyway, for those of you looking for workwear.
And for all the audio listeners, sorry about that chat there, but there we go. Happy days.
So,
what have we got in store today in the next 28 minutes?
Yeah.
Because we've already been running for 2.
Yeah, let's not run over today.
Has that clock always been there as well?
Yeah.
Why have we never looked at that?
Yeah.
We're always like, how long are we running for? Cool, let's go. What we got in store?
We'll talk about how buyers engage with estate agents and...
A little caveat on that in brackets. Does being rude to estate agents get you what you want? Close brackets.
100% mortgages.
Got to be talked about now.
News, got to talk about that. And there was something else we were going to talk about.
The power of video marketing.
Yes.
That's the title. The power of video marketing. Is it a luxury or is it needed? Who knows? Yeah. We'll discuss that over the next half an hour.
Cool.
Amazing.
Well, let's jump in because I think you had... Was there a story
There
about...
is a story, mate. All
story
good
time.
Lessons are told by a story.
It's true. Facts tell, stories sell.
Oh, mate, there we go. So, picture this. I'm not going to name the property, I'm not going to name the client, but it was 2 weeks ago, bank holiday. So we had Saturday, we had 2 bank holidays in a row. Mm-hmm. So this was, an email came in, direct to our emails, on Sunday night at 8 o'clock on the middle of the bank holiday weekend. Now, I had worked up till that Friday night of the bank holiday. Was Friday the bank holiday as well? It wasn't a double bank holiday, it was a Friday, Monday, wasn't it?
I was working, mate. I wasn't taking time.
Yeah, me too. So I worked up at 8 o'clock doing viewings on a property till on the Friday night. I then Laura and I had 2 separate open houses on the Saturday. We both got in about 5:30, 6ish on the Saturday evening. I then did a purchase visit on the Sunday morning, and I got to midday, had a beer, had a bit of lunch. Football was coming on. I was like, right, I'm done. I've worked so hard over the last few weeks, I'm just going to take a day and a half off. I'm not going to check anything, which
Yeah.
is fine. So that's cool. Anyway, 8 o'clock email came in. Didn't check it. I didn't know about it. Didn't check my emails, do anything on Monday. Tuesday morning came round. Laura and I had a little meeting that we do, and I was like, cool, if you just deal with those inquiries, or fire them all. We had 5 or 6 for the same property. I sent the inquiries over. So can you chase those, get them booked in? Actually, one of the properties had already sold, so I just called them and say it's sold. Lauren called this person at 12:24 p.m. on the Tuesday after the bank holiday, and had a nice chat with her and said, I'm really sorry, property got multiple offers on it. We'll come back to you by midweek, which will be Wednesday, the next day. We'll come back to you, let you know if we can get a viewing in or not. Okay. Wednesday comes, it's 3 o'clock on Wednesday. I've been out all day, I haven't checked my emails, been flat out, and I've had 3 calls from the virtually air call centre that used to pick up our overflow calls from the website. This person's really disgusted, they've not had a call back. Next one, really, really angry, wants to make a complaint. Next one, she is livid, she's not had a call back for a week. I'm like, I bear in mind, I have no idea who this person is. So I've got that. I've called this lady. I was like, "Hi, it's Ryan from Avocado. How are you?" "Well, I'm not okay, Ryan." "Right, okay. Tell me what. Okay, how can I help? I've not spoken to you before. Let's talk." "Well, let me tell you. I sent an email through on Sunday evening, and it took you till Tuesday to get back to me." I was like, "Right, okay." And I went on the notes, and Lauren's notes are all there. Spoke to 12:24. Told property sold. We'll come back to her for a viewing by midweek. I said, "Lauren spoke to you yesterday." "Yeah, I was told I'll get a call back tomorrow morning." I was like, "Well, the notes, obviously I went back into my statement. The notes say she'll call you midweek. It's Wednesday, 4 o'clock. It's still technically midweek." She goes, "You calling me a liar?" And I was like, no. Sorry, love. I didn't say that. That's really rude. Sorry, madam.
Sorry, love.
I'm not calling you a liar. What I'm saying is I wasn't partial to the conversation. Lauren's not here. This is the note. I'll call you midweek. She's explained that the property's under offer. Well, I hadn't had a call back. I was like, cool, I'm calling you now. Nothing's changed. Property's still under offer. You can't view it.
Yeah.
And then so that was it. She hung up abruptly, sent me some shit email after saying, "I'm disgusted with the way you've dealt with things. Your customer service is shit. Blah, 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 blah." And I was like, cool. Sorry you feel that way. We've done nothing wrong. You called us on a bank holiday. You emailed us on a bank holiday. We called you literally within 4 hours of us technically opening after 3 days off. We then called you. That was the background. And it really upset Lauren because she's like doing her best to make sure she serves people. She's done everything right. We've done nothing wrong. And this fucktard of a client thinks they're on a high horse because we hadn't called them back. Fuck you. I wouldn't have even called her back. Because if she's acting like that now, even if the property wasn't sold, I'd say, look, the way you're acting now, I don't want to deal with you.
No.
My clients don't want to deal with you because I give them the best advice, and the best advice is not to deal with someone like you.
Yeah, who is, if they're rude like that, what they're going to be like 2-3 months into a transaction.
It just annoyed me, and then you start questioning your things, then you replay the conversation in your head.
Yeah.
And obviously, I'm never rude to clients. Like, at the end of the day, we're providing a service. That's absolutely fine. But you can't allow for people being rude to you when we've done absolutely nothing wrong.
It's difficult, isn't it? Because we're in the service industry, and we've got to basically smile and do our jobs. But
And do you know what? If she'd emailed in a week before, and we then took us a week to call her, I could understand people being a bit annoyed about that. That's not acceptable. And if we told her we were going to call back on Tuesday evening and it's Thursday, she's still not had a call, again, I could accept that. But there was nothing like that.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, what is reasonable?
Yeah.
Right? And I think the trouble is, and we were talking before we started recording about people understanding the brand and understanding what we do as business owners. This buyer obviously didn't have your mobile number if they were coming through the switchboard.
No, but they did because they spoke, because Lauren called them the day before from her mobile.
Yeah.
So why, and this is the point, she called straight through to the number on the system, which goes through to switchboard. Which obviously is not great. And if she called me first, if I'd answered the first call, she called me direct, it would have been a different story. If she called Lauren back, might have been a different outcome. But it got me thinking, like, do clients expect too much, or is it just an industry-wide problem that they have their backs up, that all estate agents are the same and they're all dicks, and she feels like she needs to be that way to get her point across?
Maybe.
She could just been having a bad day.
could have been having a bad day, could have had loads of she's obviously assumed that, I don't know, there was for some reason an expectation to get a call back immediately on a bank holiday. And if people text me on my mobile or call me on my mobile, my response time is quicker than if they're sending an email through centrally. Yeah. And it just is. And I think people don't understand that, because if we're on appointments...
But then, and on that point, that's not the client's fault, is it?
No.
But at the same time...
But it's not even a client. It's just... You know, if someone gets in touch out of the blue, it's just a random person wanting to view a property. Yeah. So if you're on an appointment from 9 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon, you're not going to be checking your emails.
No, but I can message back on WhatsApp or say I'll call you later.
Yeah.
Absolutely agree.
So it's setting standards and boundaries.
I think it's just like we don't. Like, our job's not hard. Like, and I talk about this on valuations all the time. Like, we just communicate with clients properly. That's all people want. Like, people aren't expecting you to. We're not Messiahs. We can't just magic bars up out of the floor there and just sell houses because we know what we're doing. Like, we know what we're doing, we're experienced, but it comes back to service levels, competency, and communication.
Yeah, and communication and marketing. Obviously, we'll talk about marketing and videos in a bit, but just communicating.
Yeah, but one of those stories where you find it, and obviously I can't rant at it in the office. No. And it's different. It was different for me to deal with it. It's the first situation where I've had to feel like Laura and I are so like joint directors on the company, but obviously I did the business for a year without her, even though she was named on the brand, without her running it. And it's the first time I felt like back to being a manager again. Like I've got to almost not throw someone under the bus. And I think back at it now, and what I should have said afterwards, I was like, she said, "Are you calling me a liar?" No, I'm not, but my wife is telling me that she's put this note on the system. She wouldn't just make that up. So I'm also not calling her a liar. Yeah. And I trust her more because I've known her for 15 years and I love her. And you're a fucking horrible hag. You're calling me a Sorry, delete that word. Take that word out.
Did she call you a...
Basically, yeah.
Basically.
Well, she said I was... No, not basically. Yeah, she said my service weren't very good.
She was rude to you.
She was rude to me and it got my back up and I'll never deal with her again.
So we're venting now here, free therapy to get off your chest.
I think... Sorry, go on.
Well, I had a similar scenario where I had a phone call. It was after 6, I think it was about 7 o'clock in the evening. Phone call, calling my mobile, wanted to view a property, and this person said they'd been trying to get hold of me for 2 weeks. Yeah. And I was horrified, as I was like, don't recognise this number. I've had no texts, I've had no WhatsApps, I've had no emails, I've had nothing through the system, I've had no leads in my inbox. Yeah. I was like, but this person was furious. Like, I've been trying to get hold of you about this property. I'm like, right, well, you've called me and I've answered. Hello. Yeah. So I booked him in for a viewing because I was kind of taken aback a little bit, just answering that call, and you know, I really didn't want them to be upset. So we did the viewing, and this person wasn't really in a position to be viewing that property. Mm-hmm. And then we did the viewing, and then sort of more demands came. Oh, I want to know this, I want to know that, I want to come back for a second time. Or when they weren't in a position to buy it. So then I had to be, you know, politely say, actually, you know, I'm really, really sorry you weren't able to get hold of me at the start, but I can't just bend over backwards for you. Yeah.
There's a line, isn't it? Like, there's a line between good customer service and then it's the same thing.
Being a mug.
Being a mug. And also you've got a duty of care to your client, not to waste their time with shit viewings.
Yeah, that's it.
So it's always a difficult one. And there's always, in any walk of life, there's going to be people that will challenge you and call you out. And it's half the time it's not true. Like, if people call me, like, when it gets busy, if people call me and don't leave me a message, I sometimes don't call them back. Because if it's just a random number and they're not on our system, I won't call them back. Maybe that's bad. Maybe I should just start calling people back.
Do you know what I think an issue could be for us a little bit? Because high street agencies with junior staff are so ready to do viewings and show anyone anything. Yeah. It almost, for us, because we're more selective about who we're showing the property. Yeah. If you are not a waste of time buyer, but a buyer who is
unproceedable, can't move.
Unproceedable and just wants to go out and look at houses. Yeah. you're probably naturally going to favour the big corporate office who will
They're
show
happy
you
to
anything,
get paid on viewings and happy to do it.
versus us who are going to actually question.
I have no problem doing that. There's more than enough buyers out there. I think the moral of the story, the point I wanted to raise is we're still human beings. Like, okay, cool, we're the front of a company. We are human beings, absolutely. Just don't be. There's no need to be rude to us.
Don't be a dick.
Absolutely no. That property wasn't under offer at that point. We had 3 offers on it and we were negotiating. She could have dealt with that in a very different way, and there possibly, if she really sold herself and was, on the ball, I possibly could have got her a viewing at the house. But the way she acted and the way she spoke to me, no.
I think this can be a lesson to anyone looking to buy a property.
Yeah.
Even when you're inquiring about properties, on Rightmove or Zoopla or whatever, if you show that you are genuine and you have your shit together and you love the house and you're ready to get things done, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Like how, when you see inquiries and the buyers put, I love the look of this property,
Yeah, it'd be perfect for my wife and kids.
Yeah, what's the parking situation and how many square meters is it? Because when I see that lead, I'm like, this person's obviously looked at the advert and thought about it and is now asking questions. Versus most people who are just like, can I have a viewing?
Book a viewing.
With no...
Or sometimes with Zoopla, they have nothing.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing. There's no requirements. There's nothing at all.
Zero.
Name and number.
So you call up a lead and you're like, oh, hi, I'm calling you about number 3 Smith Street.
Yeah.
Which one's that?
Yeah, exactly.
They never know.
Can you send me the details? No, you've inquired on Zoopla. I've already got 14 viewings booked in. Go back on Zoopla, find which one it is yourself, and message me back with some details and I'll book you in.
I always find people never recognise it by the street name or by the bedrooms or bathrooms, but you say the price, like, oh, that one.
Yeah, there you go.
The worst when people are like, oh, yeah, which house is that? Because I've inquired about so many.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Oh, you're the world's best buyer, aren't you? I don't know why they
brilliant.
say it. They're saying it like they think they're in a good position.
Yeah, I'm so excited now to show you one of 20 properties you've inquired about.
I think taking away from, I know this is the estate agency podcast now, we've gone full circle, and that is what we're focusing on, obviously, because that's what we know. It's not about being rude to estate agents to get what you want. I think it's just more of a metaphor for life. Just be nice to people. Like, okay, buying a house, one thing. You're buying something at the supermarket, another thing. Meeting someone in the street. You don't know what people are doing. They might have a bad day. Just be nice. Smile. Be happy. You'll have a better life. Real there for you.
Wisdom from Ryan.
Thank you.
Hashtag don't be a dick.
Hashtag don't be a dick, especially to estate agents, because you won't get what you want. Right, topic 2. 100% mortgages.
Borrow all the money.
Borrow all the money. I think the media, and I've listened to a lot of podcasts over the last couple of days, various estate agency ones and sales. I had a really, really good analogy. It was from, I can't remember who it was, actually, I should have remembered. But he basically said, we've talked about media bashing, don't read about the media. The media do not have a fucking clue about what is happening in the market world, in the property market. They have not got an idea. They see a headline fact, how are we going to spin that negatively? Bang. 100% mortgages. Is this a return to the recession of 08, 09? No, it's not. No, it's not.
No, it isn't.
I've spoke to 2 different financial advisors. Both have had exactly the same point. It's potentially a good thing. It's a very good product that Skipton have launched on the 100% mortgage. The criteria, though, is very, very strict. It's very, very strict. And it's specifically for first-time buyers who have no deposit, who've been renting for more than a year, and the repayments can't exceed that rental value. It's got a cap of £1,500, max loan to value at 4.5 times their earnings. We shouldn't really give financial advice here. I'm not giving them advice, I'm just stating facts.
Stating facts, yeah.
There's a lot of criteria that goes into it. I think it's a good thing.
I do as well. When my broker called me up and we were talking about it, he said it's a headline grabber, but it's perhaps the start of a new product range that the banks will offer. It does solve, what I like about it, it does solve the rental trap problem.
Which is good.
For people who are responsible with their credit score and with their rent payments, it does solve that whole cycle of, I can't save my deposit because I'm paying rent and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And it does that without the government getting involved and offering a fucking scheme for whatever.
Yeah.
So I like that.
And the thing is, because it's a 5-year fixed rate mortgage, like they are paying, like the interest rate I think was about 5.5%. So it's higher than what you can get now.
Yeah.
But people, it's not, because they can't. It's irrelevant. They can't get a mortgage at the moment because they haven't got a deposit.
Yeah.
So it's not higher. It's just only thing that's available to them.
But as with any mortgage product, the more money you put down, the better rate you're going to get.
Of course.
So
and it's still going to be. It's not interest. It's still going to be repayment. So even after 5 years, if you just paid off you're still going to pay probably 10, 15 grand off the mortgage anyway over 5 years, give or take. Like depending on the size of it.
Yeah.
So you're still going to be paying off. So even at the end of 5 years, you're still going to have 10 or 15 grand equity from nothing. Obviously, it's just enforced savings basically.
Yeah.
And that's with the house prices staying exactly the same. Yeah, we're in a very stable market. We might see a little bit of a dip. We might see a little bit of a rise. But statistically, over the next 5 years, prices will probably go up another 10, 15%. It normally happens. So you're going to be quids in, and then you've got your deposit to go again for your next house.
I think it's probably the same advice you'd give to anyone with putting down a 5% deposit, or anyone looking at shared ownership. It's a thing which you need to take a 5-year view on, in my opinion.
Yeah, I totally agree.
With shared ownership, or even with a 5% deposit, you need to take 2 years is too short.
Interestingly, though, just to completely disperse that myth that you've just created there.
Go on.
My and Lauren's first property was shared ownership, and we had it for 2 years.
How did you do on that financially?
We made £45,000.
Okay.
So we bought it in 2014, yeah. I was 20, I just turned 24. We bought the property, we paid no we didn't, we paid 92,000 for the full share. No, sorry, for the half share. So the full value was 180, give or take. We sold it 2 years later in mid-2016, the height of the market, before they obviously dropped down. We sold it in 2016 for 280,000 was the full value. So the share was 140. So in 2 years, we made, after fees, we made £45,000.
You're the exception.
One of the luckiest people in the world. The thing is, and I feel really sorry because the guy bought that. The only reason we sold it had a 90-year lease. So I was like, right, well, it wasn't me actually. Full credit to Lauren. She won't listen to this, so she's not going to get to hear the credit. Lauren's like, I want to move. Let's get going. It's completely by fluke. If we'd waited a year,
perfect time.
We would have lost. We'd only been 250. We'd made 35 grand.
But you're also paying some rent in that time.
Yeah.
Which would have taken away from that 45.
Well, no, not necessarily, because I was paying rent anywhere.
But if you'd have not done shared ownership,
I'd be stuck in rent. I couldn't have saved £45,000 in 2 years. Let's put it that way.
But if you'd have had 100% mortgage, you wouldn't have had to do the shared ownership.
Good. Exactly that. But yes and no, I wouldn't have been able to afford the mortgage that size anyway. So I only took out an £80,000 mortgage because I was on a much smaller salary.
See, yeah.
And Lauren was on as well.
Which kind of loops round to the second part of mortgages, which a 100% mortgage doesn't solve, and that's the affordability.
Yeah.
Which to me is like the bigger problem, the average income
issue.
to house price.
Yeah, and that is always going to be a problem. Interesting point. The broker I was speaking to yesterday, she said, actually, we're not going to see too many applications here in the southeast. That is because the house prices are so high, and because you've got a cap at £1,500, the mortgage payment cap at £1,500. That means with the interest at 5.5%, it's like a 250, maybe 300 grand mortgage max.
Yeah.
Like the way the numbers work out.
Sure.
So it's going to benefit a lot of people, maybe in less affluent or expensive areas to buy, like Stockport or Carlisle.
Yeah, sure.
Or Redcar.
But then
Just thinking of northern towns I could think of.
Grimsby.
Nothing against northerners listeners. Thank you for listening, if you are listening.
Yeah.
And thanks to the guy who's the guy overseas? Brazil.
Was it a Chile listener we had?
Chilean, yes. Or Peru.
Peru, yes.
Thanks for South American. We love you. Anyway, sorry, go on.
Latino crowd.
Grow up.
Yeah, grow up.
I interrupted and you've completely lost what you were going to say, haven't you?
I have completely lost it, but 100% mortgages.
100% mortgages, here to stay. There's going to be more of them. It's a good thing. Don't read what you read in the papers. I would guess 97% of the public have nothing to worry about or even focus on it because it's not going to apply to you.
And how do you feel about the risk of negative equity?
Don't think there's a risk.
More of a risk than putting 5 or 10%.
Of course, yeah, and that's a valid point, and you're factually correct in your statement there. But I don't think prices will be lower than where they are now in 5 years' time. Fact.
No, yeah, agreed.
Unless, yeah, well, I suppose they could be, and we'll look back in 5 years on episode 195 and go, "God, you said that 5 years ago, Ryan, and that was bad."
Well, I think that's what I say about, it needs to be something taken with a bit of a long-term view.
Absolutely. So on from mortgages, let's move nicely on to the power of video marketing. Is it a con? Is it just a fancy thing us as estate agents and other people that copy us can do to win business? Or is it a genuine marketing tool that should be utilised by every single estate agent? Matt Barrell, over to you.
It's absolutely a genuine marketing tool. Whether it needs to be used by every estate agent, I don't know. Probably not. But it's a great marketing tool.
Absolutely
which is part of a marketing mix and a marketing plan. And I think it's a great way to not only show off properties, but also us put ourselves out there as property people.
Twofold for us. Absolutely. It does benefit the client because I'm a firm believer if people can see it full, like the cinematic experience that we create, they can see the house.
That's what we're calling it.
That's what I call it, yeah. You can see the house in all of its glory, all the negatives, the flow of the property. You can't tell that from 15 still shots on Rightmove.
No, and how often do people complain about the room looking bigger or smaller because of the camera lens?
Yeah,
and
precisely. And you can't lie with because obviously we're doing presenter-led videos. You can't lie about the size because you're there in the picture.
Yeah.
So it's very easy to get an idea of it. But what I wanted to bring this up in this conversation is I've had more and more buyers recently actually discussing the videos or making reference to the videos during the viewing process. Obviously, all of our clients deal with us from start to finish. You do every process. So we do all the viewings and all the marketing. But it's lovely, and I love the fact. I was doing a viewing in one of the properties in Thailand, so it backs onto this amazing park. And the buyer said, "I obviously watched the video, loved it, by the way. Is there access direct to the park?" I said, "Well, if you watched the video, I would have mentioned if it was access." I didn't say that. I wasn't rude, because I'm not rude to clients. But it was lovely to see that all our hard working, and obviously the more we do, the better we get and the quicker we get at editing them. But it is a big investment for us. Like, it's a lot of time. The gear we've brought, I would say from start to stop, from filming a video to editing it, to posting it, to money, it's probably gonna cost us maybe £100 and 4 or 5 hours work. Okay, it's not the end of the world, but it's a lot of time to invest when you're doing 3 or 4 a week.
Yes, and it is a lot because I spend a lot of time on the videos and I want to get better at them. I feel like with every video I get slightly better. I know lots of other people outsource the videos.
Yeah. Which is fine, and that, if that's the way you want to roll, then that's cool. I think it's perfect for clients. I always say on valuations, no one is going to part way with the best part of 400, 500 grand on a house because of a video. That's not what they're there to do.
No.
We're there selling the lifestyle of the area, the property. It helps separate yours from the other 10 houses on the market that haven't got videos, because people are always going to return to see yours in more detail. It's going to create more exposure, a better viewing experience.
And it's just another piece of content about that house out in the world. Whether it's a print in the local newspaper, whether it's a listing on Rightmove, whether it's a listing on the website, a video popping up on people's Facebook feeds. Absolutely. Is just another tool.
And I think the second point you touched on a second ago there, which is why I cannot understand why every estate agent's not doing it. Obviously, it's good that they're not, because it helps our brand. But building your personal brand in your own areas is the way estate agencies going. Like, you listen to all the experts. Everyone who's successful at the moment is all about personal branding. It's not Romans or Connells or Countrywide. It's not these big corporate brands that people know the name but not the individual. People building their personal brands. Matt Barrell, Ryan Bloomfield, Ellen Sanjay, Dan and Neil, all of the avocado partners are building their personal brands within the area. People see them, not the avocado brand, which is great. And videos are a massive, massive point on that.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think I wonder sometimes if we don't have enough like star agents in this country. I feel like there's lots of people who teach how to do personal branding or how to do this, but we don't actually have lots of people doing it. So
but because and you know this is another topic for another podcast. But the industry is still set in its own ways. Like if you look at the percentage of overall estate agents, I have no idea what it is, but I hazard a guess it'd be less than 5% of the UK estate agents are self-employed.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
But then I read this morning EXP is the fastest growing brand in the UK. It's no surprise, right?
Yeah. Well, it's a slightly different model because it is more about recruitment and it's a pyramid scheme at the end of the day, isn't it?
It is, but it's still self-employed.
And it's still a state agency. Yeah.
So.
But brands like that, it's they're great, and the more people that bring it out, and there's some really, really good self-employed models. I think, obviously we'll come to the end of this podcast. If you've listened for the full half an hour, thank you so much. But one thing they always say, if you are estate agents listening to this in the local area or anywhere in the UK, and you're considering going self-employed, but you're unsure what it entails, what you need to do, feel free to reach us here. Yes, we're wonderful hosts of the Living Room Chat podcast, but we're still running businesses at the end of the day. I'm more than happy to chat to anyone. I'm sure you're the same, Matt.
Well, not anyone, but yeah, just if you're
not a lady, if you're rude to estate agents.
And if you are an agent, everyone's going to have to go self-employed. In 20 years,
you'd be the way, wouldn't it?
You're not going to have a choice sooner or later. So
you may as well get on the bandwagon now, when it's still new and fresh, and
have a tough first year like we both have,
and cry a lot.
Be all right. Yeah.
Get stress spots.
But I had a question to ask you before we go off from the video thing.
Yeah.
Just curious, would you rather have a house on the market which is, I'm going to say 15% overpriced, but you can do your full marketing, your full video, everything perfectly, or 15% underpriced, but you can just have one photo of a property? Your answer and your reason why.
As an estate agent, obviously. My answer to that is I would rather have a house on the market 15% above. Because, and the reason being is obviously I want to get houses sold, but in my business, maybe ask me in 3 years' time, it'll be a very different story. But at the moment, I'm building my brand, I'm building my personality within the area. I enjoy the marketing of homes. If I market that 15% above market value property correctly, I may get a couple of other properties that come back to me and say in a few months' time, I saw you marketing 15 Acacia Avenue. I thought it looked amazing. Price a little bit high, looked amazing. I want to work with you.
But if you had it 50% under market value with one photo,
what are you gonna? Okay, cool. You're gonna sell it instantly.
Well, you get. What do you reckon the difference is on inquiries with?
It'll be if 15% above value, you might get one or two if you're lucky. 15% below, and I've done this recently, you'll get triple figures, 100+ inquiries.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But
for my business, the question you asked me for my business, the one that's more, and I'm not saying I'm going to overvalue properties, by the way, just catch that out. That would be more beneficial for my business. In the position it is, I'd sacrifice the quick buck for the bigger picture.
Yeah. No, interesting. I thought that was quite a good thought experiment.
I've got a question for you quickly as we finish up here. Would you rather have a lovely 5-bedroom detached house that's over £1 million, perfect condition, it's got a double garage and a swimming pool in a beautiful estate area, but you have to drive around in a 1987 crappy old Ford Escort for the next 20 years? Or would you have a £300,000 2-bed Victorian terrace, but you have a brand new green Lamborghini? It's got a driveway as well. Lamborghini on the drive that you can drive around.
So live in?
Yes, you live in the... So basically the options are you live in a mansion with a shit car, or you live in a small terraced house that you can't move out of with an amazing car, what would you go for?
Mansion, shit car, all day long.
Really?
100%.
Cool.
What about you?
Yeah, same.
100%. I drive a shit car anyway.
Mate, you're out. Don't do yourself. Were you in West Reading yesterday, by the way?
Yeah.
About 5:30ish.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about 3 cars behind you.
Near the car wash.
Near the car wash. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Right, we'll never sing again on the podcast. Yeah, I was coming back down Tylehurst Road, and I came around a roundabout at Prospect Park, and you were about 4 cars ahead of me.
Yeah, it was me.
Yeah,
it was
I saw your number plate. Beep, 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 beep. ZFR.
That's me.
Yeah, I knew it was, but I only remembered it when I mentioned it there.
Yeah, so I'd have the big house and the old car.
Amazing.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll put that as a reel. We'd love to hear your comments. What would you go for, guys? Big house, shit car, or small house, luxury car? I think most people go for the big house. Throw it out there.
Yeah, I think, although it's like people do love their cars, don't they?
Yeah.
And about the 100% mortgage thing, I was thinking, actually, if you can get a loan on a car, which everyone's going to be in negative equity. If you go and buy a brand new car, right, on finance,
Negative equity.
negative equity straight away, and you can borrow, or you can be on a fairly modest wage and have a £500 car payment, right?
Yeah.
So to me, it seems only right that you should be able to get finance on a house.
Yeah.
Which is a better investment than a car.
Absolutely agree.
Cool.
Absolutely
But
agree.
we've run out of time. So
We have, lovely. Would you like to do the honours of the outro?
outro. Cool. Thanks for watching, people. Episode 19 of the Living Room Chat podcast. We're entering into the 20s next week. So come back, drop us your questions, find us on social media. Love you. Bye.
Expertly done. Thanks all.